The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. We have a name. It's a good name. I like the name. Let me rant about names for a second. All of them suck. No, I'm just kidding, but like, it was starting to get a little bit bland now with every single game being named after something in the game. I mean, when it was Ocarina of Time, it worked. It sounded a little bit mysterious. When it was Majora's Mask, it still worked, because Majora's Mask, what is that? That's new? That's different? Then it was Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, yeah, the people in the game, and we had the Wind Waker, which was the Wind Waker and also Link, I guess. There was the Minish Cap. There was the Four Swords and the Four Swords Adventures. I guess it's a little cartoony. There's Twilight Princess, which I guess, you know, it does have a bit of a dual meaning. But Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, yes, those are things in the game. Very creative. Skyward Sword. I guess there's technically nothing called the Skyward Sword, but yeah, you know, you lift the sword skyward, and then you shoot the freaking, I don't even remember what it's called now, and it's Sword Beam, that's all over it. Skyward Strike, as actually the real name. And then finally we had A Link Between Worlds, which was obvious reference to A Link to the Past, but it still sounds really cool, and I was really on board with that because it was a creative name, and it wasn't just stolen from an item in the game. It's something that happens in the game, sure, but it's a little bit more descriptive than just item of stuff. But I mean, it could be worse. It could be Castlevania calling everything X of X, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong though, Castlevania is awesome. But anyway, between that and now, we had Triforce Heroes, which is stupid pun. And now we have Breath of the Wild, which is X of X, but whatever. It's a really interesting title, and it's not something I'm used to from Zelda games, which is good. It sounds fantastic. It sounds like a legend, a fantasy, maybe not necessarily a legend, but I like it. It's something different, which is good. If they had called it Rusted Master Sword, I would have slapped someone. Or what else is in the game? Magic Arrow of Explosiveness. No, but anyway, yesterday was E3 and with the Treehouse event. You know, I'm doing these vlogs to help me learn how to talk more. You know, I suck at it. Anyway, with the Treehouse event, we had all that, the trailer and all that footage, and it looks great. But the thing that stood out immediately to me, voice acting. There's voices in this game, but you know, I actually kind of made my peace with the idea because it felt like it was inevitable. I mean, Link might probably always be mute, but I feel like someday it was going to breach into that, because look at recent Nintendo games, both Xenoblade games, Fire Emblem, Awakening of Fates, Kid Icarus, they were adding more and more voices to Nintendo games, and I mean, it's not bad voice acting, I mean, pretty good actually, mostly, so it feels like they were taking those little steps, and they're like, okay, we've been having a good track record, let's try something with Zelda. So far, it just sounds like that one voice, and that voice has got to be Zelda. I mean, if it's the one voice that we hear so far, why would it not be Zelda? But, you know, I mean, the whole thing, like, I'll get into this a little more later, but the whole thing is about how all the legends of Zelda, get it, were, like, gone now, and I think having Zelda be there to, like, bridge everything together at the end would just be perfect. And it's funny too, because I was thinking, because I really love Xenoblade's voice acting, the original, not X, but because it was British, it was refreshing, because, I mean, it's not like British acting is rare, but me being American, I'm used to a ton of American accents, so hearing that all these British voices, it was just very refreshing and a very good game, very good acting, so I'm like, you know, if they do take the voice acting route for Zelda, I hope they go with British actors, and this voice is British, and I'm like, oh, yes. So, that's very good. And what else is good is how the game starts. You kind of get the Doom intro where the guy waking out of the pod in his boxers. I'm not sure that happened in Doom, but I doubt it. And you hear the voice saying, wake up, Link, and a little brief bit of exposition, which is alright. We're talking about, I'm not really sure it's exposition technically, but you know. Here's the Sheikah Slate, your little magic smartphone, and here's what it does. It's a key and then it lets you leave, and that's it. Go wherever. I think there's like one more thing where it does tell you, like, here's the marker feature, or you should go to this or something, but other than that, it was wide open. Go do whatever. Go meet the old man. Don't eat the old man unless you're into that. But hopefully he's into it too. Anyway, if he's, so the old man is just like Zelda 1. He's not really in a cave, but he's by a fire, and he's got like a little outcropping over his head, so close enough. I don't remember if he gave you a sword or anything, but if he did, you know, it makes sense. I mean, this game's pulling heavily, very heavily on the original Zelda. But there you are in the open. Go explore, go do anything. You can find all these goodies just by walking around. Here's the thing, the Temple of Time is right there. And it looks like it's in better shape than it was in Twilight Princess, so it's kind of weird if it is on the same timeline, but we don't know about that yet. But the story apparently, there's Calamity Ganon, which I'm not sure that's like an in-universe nickname or something the developers called him or what, but kind of goofy. I mean, I take Mandrag Ganon over that. But apparently he was sealed in Hyrule Castle, and his evil influence slowly deteriorated the land, so Hyrule is in not good shape. Everything's overrun with nature. Buildings crumbled, lots of ruins, very few people. There are apparently going to be some kind of towns in there, which is good because, you know, I kind of like the idea of this barren world you have to re-explore and reinvigorate. But I wanted to talk to people too, and kind of like, one of the things I wanted actually was you have villages that like evolve as you progress. Like maybe they don't trust you at first and you have to earn their trust, and then they'll help give you stuff and whatnot. But well, we got something coming in, so that's pretty good. And I can't wait to see more. And then, let me look at my notes here. Oh, the Sheikah. Apparently they're still around. Well, sort of. They're like in these little boxes, and they look like Redeads. I mean, I thought they were Redeads at first. Like, well, I didn't, but you know, they looked like Redeads to me. Basically, I'm getting way off track. But they're sitting there in these little magic boxes inside these shrines, which are kind of like the mini dungeons in Link Between Worlds, except those ones were a little more brain-teasy, and these, there are apparently 100 of them, plus. And you put your little magic iPhone in, and you get this new ability, like the ability to freeze time, or the ability to use it like a magnet, pick things up, and then you go through this little mini dungeon trying out your new ability. Then you get to the end and you get this spirit orb, which is something to do with trading, I think. It's pretty cool. I mean, it seemed a little simple, but still, I mean, I'm into it. And they don't replace regular dungeons, but we haven't seen any of those yet. I'm very curious how that will go, because they keep talking about how seamless world transitions will be, and if I'm not ready to see the old style of dungeoneering go, because Zelda dungeons are great. So, I mean, I love, like, Skyward Sword, say what you will about that game, but those dungeons were amazing. I mean, the world, you know, was a little bit linear. I mean, and up in the sky was the most boring place ever. I mean, I still think it's a fun game, but I understand the concerns, but I love that level design, and, like, I don't want stuff like that to go away, but I'm also for more open levels. Link Between Worlds had some of those. I like that, too. So I'm curious to see what they'll do with that. Also, there's food, which is kind of interesting. I was worried at first that there might have been some kind of hunger system, like you have to eat. But no, it's just like little food you can collect for health refill, or even like a little bit of buff. Like, you know, this, if you play Binding of Isaac, which I play too much of, you've got like these soul hearts you can collect that are temporary health ups. Once they go away, they're gone forever. Sort of like that, like some food you can eat and it'll give you like 3 or 4 extra hearts. And pretty alright. Plus you can also build like a little campfire, which is kind of funny because you chop down the tree and you whack the tree and it just turns into a bundle of sticks. Then you throw that out. Then you collect little pieces of flint, put the flint down, you've got to hit it with a metal weapon, and then it'll just turn into a campfire. Then you can get a cooking pot. You put on top of the campfire, put food in it. You can mix up some ingredients, and you can make better foods, which I think is kind of neat. Like, it's a little extra thing you don't really have to do, but I was into it. Like, when I thought there was a hunger system, I was like, yeah, I don't really care. It sounds stupid, and assuming there was one. And like, if I'm going to eat food, I'm just going to get food and do whatever. But now that I know it's optional, I have more fun with optional things than required things. I don't know why, but I'm probably going to look into that food more and be like, what can I mix together with apples and meat? And it sounds terrible, actually. But I might not to you, but I don't know. I don't like mixing fruit and meat. Tomatoes notwithstanding. Let's see, there's weapons, all the different weapons, which I love, in the armor system. It's essentially a customizable Link, and they showed a little brief teaser of him flying with a paraglider, and his hair was different, like up in a kind of top knot thing. So there might be hairstyle differences too, but I'm mostly focused on the clothes right now, because you can collect different clothes, equip different clothes, or run around in your shiny boxers. But it's really cool. I will admit I'm hoping the tunic is still in there, because, you know, it's iconic, you know, even if they are trying to break away, I think it would be neat to have that still. But the weapons, you have like all these different shields and swords, axes, two-handed weapons, one-handed weapons, clubs, sticks, you can light them on fire, spears. This is amazing, and apparently some different enemies will need like different weapons to take down better. I mean, if it's Zelda difficulty, it won't really matter, but the idea is still pretty neat. Like, I hope they kind of do take some kind of cues from the other series where like certain weapons work better and other weapons are somewhat ineffectual. But yeah. But there's apparently weapon durability where weapons will eventually break after a while. The game throws weapons at you, so you kind of don't have to worry too much. Still, it does make me think a little more before you start spamming arrows or sword attacks. It's kind of funny. I think that's why Fire Emblem Fates doesn't have weapon durability. Zelda stole it. No, I'm just kidding. There's the climbing, too, which is pretty neat. Stamina returns, which I'm not too upset about. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, I didn't think it was bad in Skyward Sword either. I thought it was maybe a bit slow, the climbing, but otherwise, which I should clarify, Breath of the Wild lets you climb on pretty much anything. If you run out of stamina, you just fall, splat, die if you're too high up. But it's really fun, and I don't know, I'm into it. This game looks very different, very new, and no one can call this a copy of a pre-existing game, which people do all the time. It's the same exact thing, which not really true in most cases, honestly. I mean, you know, the DS games are similar, A Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past are pretty similar. They still do their own things. But, well, I'm into it, and I'm really into this whole thing. It seems like a deliberate choice to make Hyrule basically post-apocalyptic in a sense, because they're trying to break away from older conventions. So everything you know, I'm just going to read this comment I found on the Breath of the Wild trailer from a guy named Evan Pan Bao. He's got a Pokemon trainer avatar. I think that's red, actually. Here's what he has to say. And so we come to the saddest setting that any Zelda game has taken place. A world left in ruins. A wilderness to behold. No sign of civilization. No people around, save for a few traveling by. You see that there used to be the kingdom once known as Hyrule all around you. But it is long gone by this point. Nothing more than stone half buried by nature. Everything that you know about the legend of Zelda is almost a myth itself. Zelda, the Master Sword, the hero's clothes, the Triforce. Nowhere to be found. Even the villainous Ganon has become a myth of itself. No longer the ambitious warlock king of the Gerudo, but now just an ancient force of evil that has no real name anymore. Where are those missing aspects? Those long-cherished things that become the mythos of the Hyrule world? This game only offers you clues. It's up to you to take the Breath of the Wild world before and uncover the legend of Zelda. I thought it was a good analysis. I probably butchered it by reading it. I'll put the picture of the comments in the comments description because it's well, I put it on Twitter. Anyway, So that's about all I've got to say. I mean, I'm stoked. It looks really good. I want to play it badly. It still sucks that we have to wait till next year just because of the NX version, which is this Twilight Princess all over again, but, you know, they're supposed to be a simultaneous launch this time. And, you know, look at this here. I'm just going to reminisce for a second and rant once I pull this thing off the top of the pile. This is such a freaking thick pile here. I waited 2 years for this game. I got it on the day one. I was stoked for this. I saw it coming to the Wii and like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but, you know, I've got a GameCube, I'm just going to stick to that. And then... a month. It took me a month to get this game after the Wii version came out. I was mad. I was like, how could you do that? This is the version you were developing first. The Wii version is a port with waggle controls that suck. I've tried them, they're terrible. And, well, in the end I've got it. I got the game. Enjoyed it, but didn't enjoy it at the time. I enjoy it more now. It could have been a hype thing. It could have been... I think it's because there's a ton of stuff in the early trailers that didn't make it to the end, and that upset me. But on that note, if you compare the 2014 trailer to what we see now, there's not much difference there. Because, like, it's still got the open world, the same graphics, maybe touched up a little bit better. The same little chasing guardian thing, Link with his horse and his arrow. So it's really cool that the early stuff still resembles the final product. I like that. And Skyward Sword was the same way, Link Between Worlds was the same way. I think they might have learned their lesson because they knew they showed a ton of crap. All this beta stuff for Twilight Princess that never made it anywhere near the final product. Disappointing, but you know, a lot of that stuff is coming back actually, because like the wooded forest, like that was my first thought when I saw that footage again, 2014 at the Game Awards, where Link's going through those trees. I'm like, wow, that looks a lot like that forest in Twilight Princess. I mean, I forgot. Someone else pointed out the spider chase from the 2014 trailer, and there's even a landmark that looks similar to something that was in the trailer, but to be fair, I think that same landmark actually did make it into Twilight Princess. But anyway, that's enough reminiscing. I'm just really happy about this, and I can't wait to play it. Why not? It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a really fun game. It's gonna be a huge shakeup. We'll like it or we'll hate it. I'm also very curious how the future of Zelda will go. If every future is gonna have open world, big world, all these different inventory weapons, all these ways climbing, you know, all that. Or I wonder, because I don't want the old style to go away. I want this new game. I want this change. I want this breath of fresh air. But I don't want, you know, the good games of the past to just disappear. I mean, you can make them a little more open to us and a little less restrictive, but there's some good stories in these games. I mean, Wind Waker, great story. Skyward Sword, pretty good story. Spirit Tracks, good story. Even if I still hate the train. And like, and it still gives us good characters. I mean, I hate Twilight Princess's story, but Midna is a good character. So I don't want that to go away. So, you know, I hope both styles can coexist, because there's still fans of that style. In fact, some of the fans have come in from these new games, and that's what they love and know. And don't take that away is what I'm saying. I love the openness. Link Between Worlds was kind of perfect blend of open and new. It wasn't perfect, it was really good. And, you know, I think these ways can coexist, so looking forward to the future, looking forward to this game, hoping everything goes well. I'm excited. I hope you are too, and if you're not, nah, it's okay. But, you know, I'll see you at the next one. Have fun. Next year, have fun. Unless you're watching this in the future, then I hope you have had fun. Bye.